What is up, Sticklers? We are back after a little bit of a break. We're going to be covering a lot of things this episode, so tune in. We got some trailers, Secret Level and Sonic 3. We have some news, canceled show, and a sneak peek behind a new upcoming movie that we are all excited for. We have reviews, Alien Romulus, ooh. The Rings of Power, Season 2, Episodes 1 through 3. Terminator Zero, and Black Myth Wukong. Stay tuned. The Joystick Show. The Joystick Show.
Aloha and welcome to the Joystick Show, a podcast where three friends from Hawaii talk story about pop culture things that bring us joy. Shakas and mahalos for checking us out. If can, please like and subscribe on any and every podcast platform. Also on the YouTubes. A 5-star review is greatly appreciated and helps us out a ton. I'm your co-host Drake. That's Thomas.
What up, what up?
And that's Scott.
How's it?
Today, we're just going to go right into it. Episode 161. Let's start with trailers. Tom, why don't you tell us what trailers
Yeah.
we're
So
going
we
to be
got
talking about?
Secret Level.
Yeah?
Yes, we will talk about it.
Okay.
We-
Let's
we
talk
got
about it then.
Let's just talk about it. All right. Yeah. We are a little rusty. Coming back.
Hey.
Sorry, I will say too, if I sound a little weird, recording from the new house, nothing is set up yet. It's really boring looking behind me. And it's going to sound a little bit weird because I don't have any soundproofing up like I normally do. So sorry in advance. But the trailer is Secret Levels. We have Sonic 3 that we didn't get to talk about. Some of the news is we're going to talk about the Acolyte because that got canceled. I'm not very surprised.
The what show?
The Acolyte.
Exactly.
I don't even recall.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Rough.
We saw a few leaked photos from Ebon Miss Bacharach's The Thing from Fantastic Four. And then Sky, I believe you saw Alien Romulus. I've watched The Rings of Power, a little bit of Terminator Zero, and I also got Black Myth Wukong. So, let's kick it off. What did you guys think about Secret Level?
I thought I'm glad that they call it Secret Level just because it does kind of feel like that. I mean, with how video game movies and shows have been going recently, I'm very excited for this. I know we talked about the creators of what's that show called?
Love, Death, and Robot?
Love, Death, and
That's the
Robot.
one.
Wow. I mean, they have a great track record of not only great storytelling, but also great animation. And then now that we get to see some of our favorite video game characters, like Ghost of Tsushima, is the one that I'm looking most forward to. I think it's going to be really tight. Scott, do you
Toy, toy,
feel
toy,
the
toy,
same, or do you freaking hate it? I don't know.
I freaking love it, dude.
Oh, dang.
It looks
Wow.
good. I'm already banking on it being amazing.
Oh, wow.
Now, well, I'm going to go in with positive thoughts. It looks good, though. We got Warhammer 40,000, Mega Man, Concord. I don't know what that is, though. God of War, though.
Oh, yeah,
out.
yeah.
Pac-Man. I think we said some of this, but I'm just reading it now.
Yeah, really.
It looks super awesome.
Yeah.
If anything, it kind of gives like maybe future storytellers like, hey, we can make a whole movie out of this, and then maybe we'll
Right.
get something like that, So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that aspect as well.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Just to kind of clarify for everybody who's listening, basically, this was, again, announced at Gamescom, and how it works is, like, each episode is going to follow one of these different video game characters or video game worlds, and then a story is going to be created out of it. To your point, Scott, hell yeah. Because, like, imagine, the Warhammer episode, or the Mega Man episode, Kills, right? And you know how they individually rank things on IMDb, like individual episodes? Like, if a certain episode, again, using Mega Man as an example, if it's 9.0 out of 10, like, yes, give us a full series, give us a movie out of whatever, but I love that they're giving them license to do this, and that they got so many different video game companies to be on board with it, too, is pretty wild. This is super innovative, and it just looks freaking cool. So, yeah, I'm so excited about this, and what a genius idea. I'm sure it wasn't easy to get this made.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like all the licensings and whatnot, right? Like
Real expensive.
Legal documents.
impressive.
Laws.
And making it looks legit too. Like not only just getting all the things and believing in it, getting the right people to make it, and then because it's animated, you don't really know what it's gonna look like until it's closer to being finished and whatnot. So it's like
Yeah,
it's a bunch of what ifs, you know.
it is. And then like
It's
it
not
looks
what
like,
if. That's on Disney Plus.
right. But it could be some what ifs in a sense,
Could
like
be.
right, like who knows? I have no idea. It's just a teaser trailer, but it looked freaking cool, and yeah, all these different characters in there. Yeah, it just seems like a show I want to watch. And did you guys watch Love, Death, and Robots?
I've seen some here and
Yes.
there. It's one that I keep telling myself to go back to and watch, but I kind of forget sometimes. But every one I've seen was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so good.
Agree.
Yeah, for me, there was some that I liked better than others. Like some of them were really good, and some of them was like, okay, whatever. But I like that premise. It's almost like Black Mirror esque, and you know every story is different. So there's a part of that I really dig. I think they're gonna crush it with this, and even just the visuals on it look sick. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if we have a release date set for it yet, but I can assume it's not this year.
Oh, it says beginning December 10th,
Really,
2024.
it is this year? Wow, I assumed wrong.
Beginning. So I wonder if it's like a weekly drop of a new
Yeah, that'd be tight.
Yeah.
new episode or something. It's gonna be on Prime Video, but yeah, I could see that
I don't
happening
know.
in that way.
What
But
did Prime drop recently that had all the episodes at once? Oh, Fallout.
Fallout.
They
Yeah.
better not do that, because I think these stories are gonna deserve a weekly release and people to like watch this one and just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
dive into
That's
it.
why I think the verbiage of beginning December 10th means like they're either gonna do it one at a time or like do it in couplings of something. You
yeah,
know, like
Yeah,
threes
two
or
at a
something.
time. Ooh, man,
Yeah,
if they do that, that'd
Yeah,
be
I'm
sick.
down for that though. But
That-
it's a cool thing to have all December, Christmas time. You get to like, you know, it's nice to have
Merry
new stuff around that time.
Christmas.
December, we were just talking about it before we started. Like, we're getting Marvel Rivals too. I think December 8th. Like that game is gonna be fun. There was another thing that's coming out in December. I'm forgetting right now. I know it's not Craven or Ray. Yeah, it's not Craven. That movie's gonna be trash.
That's good. We're calling it now.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope it. You know, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Russell
that's-
Crowe's in it, man. How can it be terrible, you know?
God, did you see Russell Crowe as Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder?
That was
I
funny.
rest my
as hell.
case. It was funny though. Yeah,
funny.
you're-
I
it
was
was
like, what is
hilarious.
happening?
But it was probably the worst Greek. I don't know. It sounded like a terrible Greek accent to me.
You know
I
what's
met
funny?
one
Okay, so
authentic Greek person.
this is like just something I like heard or something. I forget where I heard it, but apparently, like it was someone said it was like a pretty good Greek accent. Like,
Was his name Russell Crowe?
yeah, he was like, dude, I fucking nailed it, dude.
I've been to Greece
I'm
a
a
few
professional.
times. This is how Greek people sound. Okay.
Maybe I
You're
made
like,
that up.
Russell
I don't
Crowe. I
know.
thought you were Australian. What's going on here?
Nah, they talk like this all the time. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, that part was
Starting
probably
to
the
sound
best
like
part of that
Mario
movie.
Luigi.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about.
So yeah, the movie's gonna be trash. We
it's
got
gonna be
Secret
trash.
Level coming out. Another video game thing that we are getting, and we weren't able to talk about this trailer while we were on that break, was Sonic 3. And damn, does this look good? And
Yes.
somehow they're bringing back Jim Carrey, and we have Keanu Reeves joining the cast as Shadow. Yeah, yeah. What do you think, Scott?
I think it looks great. I'm a fan of the other Sonics. It's funny. It starts off really funny where he's like, "Hey, it's like whatever, like it's in here," and he's like, "Yeah, my lungs." When he's pointing at his heart, like I'm already
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"This is great. I love it."
Yeah.
And then, of course, like Shadow's cool. Keanu Reeves, you're like, what? Seeing him teleport around, like Knuckles, like I want to take him on, gets his ass kicked. And then seeing Jim Carrey come back was like the icing on the top. Like him coming around slapping his stomach and going, "Gah!" Like I was like, this is classic Jim Carrey, like at his greatest. And he's like, he's playing his dad as well. Like, I'm like, this is great. It's just
Yeah.
Jim Carrey being the most silly as he can. I'm like, I love it. I'm here
Yeah.
for it.
Are you guys at all surprised about Jim Carrey getting to be Jim Carrey in these movies? Like, it still surprises me about him taking this role. Like, I'm sure they're giving him a dump truck of money, but like this, I wasn't expecting a Dr. Robotnik out of Jim Carrey. If you had taken me back into the past when he was doing I don't know, any of his big movies. Does that make sense?
I'm thinking like, because I haven't really looked into like the directors or whatnot in this movie, but maybe it's like someone he became friends with and like had a good
Right.
connection with like in the first one, and it's like, wow, they give me so much freedom to play. This is actually fun.
Yeah.
I can see someone at his level. He's got so much money. It's probably about just picking projects that allow him to feel whatever he wants to do at that time. And it seems like him being that super silly Jim Carrey, like I think like Ace Ventura, those type of films where he's just like, they're probably just like, we're gonna do take after take, and just like we'll keep whatever we think is funniest or
best
whatever
one.
So
Yeah.
I could
Are
see
you,
that.
you referring to, for example, like when he was going through his serious phase where he was doing a lot of like speeches, and he was kind of saying like how Hollywood is kind of what it is that we kind of all know, but he points out, rather obviously, and then kind of like he was really deep into his own art and things of the
Yeah.
such.
Yeah.
In that context, yes, it is kind of weird because he was super hilariously funny, like physical comedian going into like serious roles like Eternal Sunshine for the
Dominated.
Spotless Mind.
Dominated the 90s.
Yeah, really, really great. And then didn't really see him in like his again like what we know him as in our youth,
Yeah.
up until Dr. Robotnik. Um,
He was like Truman Show, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
Yeah.
Mind,
that
Rocket
numbers
Man.
one.
Yeah, he was like on this different route. So yeah, seeing him now, doing all these serious roles and then coming back and just being like so silly Jim Carrey, I'm like, who the hell landed that deal to bring him back on board? Where it's like,
I know.
you're gonna be Dr. Robotic, but you can do whatever you want. Like you could just go crazy.
Yeah,
Like that, whoever inked that deal, like props to you because that was a big land. And to get him back again in the third movie, it's like, wow, how did they? I don't know. I'm so surprised he's still here and he's having so much fun with it. It's just really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought I heard somewhere where he was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna come back unless it's like really good or something." But like,
Yeah, I saw
right?
that quote
Didn't he
too.
say that? So
Yeah,
it's
he's like, I'm
it's either
not
this
gonna.
movie's- Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go for it. What did he say?
No, I was just gonna agreeing with you. I think he said, "I'm not gonna do any movies unless I really like the script and I really like the project and kind of believe in the people making it." So it's like, wow, Sonic 3 though, that passes the bar. Like,
Yeah.
what, can we just say, whatever, Ace Ventura 3 then?
Yeah.
At this
Well,
point,
right,
like,
right.
When he was young, he played Sonic on Sega Genesis, and it really touched his life and really made him who it was out to be. So that's why he's.
Dude,
Maybe.
it very well
There you
could
go.
be, like it could be just someone in his life at some point was like made something reference or something, like maybe his nephew or niece, and he's like, "Oh fuck, they really like this." Like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
I'll do this for
I saw
you.
this video going around right now where it's like the guy in Ireland who also like inspired the Foo Fighters. You see that? Or like David Grohl was like driving somewhere in Ireland. They saw this hitchhiker, and you see it, the video's cut into two perspectives. And the Irish guy, he was saying like, back in the day, he was like, I swear I saw Dave Grohl, and he passed me. And his friends are like, why would he be in like nowhere? You can edit that out. Anywhere, in
You can't edit out. What are you talking about, dude?
edit it out, dude. He's like, why would he be in like this random part of Ireland? Like, you didn't see Dave Grohl. He's like, I totally did. And then this video, like, kind of, I guess, I don't know how recent, but more recent, because the guy's older now. He's like, there's this video of this Dave Grohl talking about, I was in Ireland and saw this hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker turned. We were thinking about picking him up, and he turned and he had this Nirvana t-shirt on. And he was like, and Kurt Cobain was staring back at me, and I was like, fuck, dude, I gotta start making music again. And he's like, and that's how, like, and from there they made the Foo Fighters. And then the person in the Irish guy's video was like, so you
My
were
name
kind of
was
like
Foo.
the creation of.
He was such a fighter.
There was
But
such
you
a
never
fighter
know.
back in
Maybe
the day.
Jim Carrey. He's such a fighter, that kid. Maybe Jim Carrey had his like little Kurt Cobain moment, and he was like, I gotta be Dr. Robotnik, Like, so
Maybe.
could
Yeah.
very well be that, dude.
The kids need me. Maybe. Oh man, what a funny story. So let's bring it back to Shadow.
My bad, yeah. We're on a
No.
tangent, but you can
No,
edit the whole
no,
thing
no.
out if you want. Yeah.
No one's editing anything out. That was just great. But Keanu Reeves is also joining the cast as Shadow, bringing his dark, brooding self. He's even like some people have gotten side by side photos of him as John Wick and
Yeah.
as Shadow, and he's like literally doing the same poses. Like it's just
great.
kind of funny.
I picture him in a
So-
mocap suit doing Shadow.
Shadow. But like even thinking about him putting in the performance of a Hugh Jackman who does ADR for like Wolverine and just be like, I'm gonna whoop your ass as Shadow in a room just kind of also cracks me up.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on like having now Shadow in the Sonic world?
I'm surprised. I mean, thumbs up, but I'm also surprised that they haven't gone because they got Tails, they got Knuckles, obviously the two mainstays. But I'm surprised Shadow introduced versus like kind of like the other ancillary characters, for example, like that pink hedgehog character.
Yeah, she was like
That's
the
why Shadow
female
was
Sonic.
introduced.
Yeah, right. You don't know her name.
Because considering how kind of movies have made, right? It hits off real good. It's been good. So how can we then expand it to have other audiences? And obviously, a female Sonic would be the case. But I mean, maybe that's later on down the line. But I'm super about Shadow. You can't go wrong with Shadow. He's so
Yeah.
cool.
He is.
But they could also do that sort of thing when they like if they make more of like the series they did with Knuckles or whatnot. They
Yes.
can start adding all these characters and
That'd be
whatnot. Build their own little
True.
Sonic verse.
Did you guys finish the Knuckles series?
I did not.
I
I
didn't
didn't
either, but you know
start
what?
actually. I feel bad.
Really?
It was
I
good.
actually kind of enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
I didn't finish it either, but like the episodes I saw, I really liked it. Gotta go back and finish it. But yeah, to think that they have Idris Elba and Ben Schwartz, and I'm sorry, I don't know the actor who plays Tails or voices Tails, but like and Keanu Reeves, like that's and Jim Carrey on top of it, and James Marsden is like, wow, what a cast. So yeah, surprisingly hit, video game adaptation. So really good show. All right. Let's jump into news now because I really wanted to talk to you guys about it. I don't want anything to fail. Let me put that out there first and foremost. I'm not talking like trash. I love Star Wars.
Yep.
I love Star Wars. I always want Star Wars
Liar.
to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hate sand. I feel like Christian,
You hate
Christian hates
sand?
it right now.
Oh.
In the second movie, what was it?
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways.
So memorable, yeah.
I got super thrown off there. I really wanted this show to be good, and I really wanted this time period to highlight what was going to be great about Star Wars in the High Republic era. And you guys know I was pretty high on it in the first couple episodes. Episode 3 was where I was like, maybe the show isn't good. But the public discourse around this show, it became such a political talking point, I feel like, between and we're not a political show, like mostly we want to laugh and have fun, but I think it needs to be discussed, and I want to hear your thoughts. It became such a like this is a representation of like woke Hollywood versus you guys are just racist for that. And I felt like all the reviews fell into one of those categories. Either like it was woke trash or people were just kind of shilling for it because it was getting hate on it. And I don't feel like either personally. I thought the cast was fantastic. Although I do not think Manla Stenberg is that great of an actress, just personally. And the thing for me that never landed with the show was like, where is the story going and why do we need to tell this story? And so I still feel like that. I don't feel like the end wrapped it up. And I've been on other podcasts and heard other people's explanations for why they like it. And I just feel like it doesn't feel like a safe place to be critical of this show because it got so wrapped up in personal ideologies and like, is this woke or not woke or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
no, for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on it? Yeah, do you think we did a fair job and was it canceled because of the public discourse, or was it canceled purely because it wasn't a well written or executed show?
Scott, I have a lot to say, so Scott, if you
Okay,
want to
yeah,
be
sure.
more positive, then
Yeah.
Hold your thoughts straight, because I want to know everything.
Yeah. I think overall there are other shows that we know that keep going, and I don't like all of them. you know. So I feel like if this show in general was like liked more so than not, then they probably would have made more of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty simple, straightforward
Like,
explanation, I think.
Not to knock anything. Like again, we covered this in the last episode, but if this is the first time you're tuning in, I agree with Thomas. Like it's not like I was like I saw one thing and I'm like, oh my god, they're trying to push an agenda or anything like
Fire
that.
in
It's
space,
not
this
that.
show's trash.
Yeah, it's not that at all. There were certain, for sure, there were certain actors that weren't as strong as others. There were characters that I wish I saw more of, or maybe I just wish the show was just about. Like we got a perspective from that. Like the villain, I wish it was just from the villain perspective. You know, we covered all that and stuff. But I think overall, like you know, if you liked it, that's cool. You know,
Right. Yeah, I think
that's great, and I'm
important to say,
glad,
too.
and I'm bummed for you that the show got canceled. You know, like
Right.
if I heard the show got greenlit for season 2, I wouldn't be up in arms going like, how do we cancel this? You know, like
It'd be pretty funny if you were, though.
yeah, I mean, like so ridiculous. Like this can't
Yeah.
happen, guys.
This can't keep happening.
Yeah, why do they do this? No, but or when I heard it was canceled, I wasn't going, fuck yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you know,
That's what
if you liked it, yeah, if you liked it, that's cool. And I watched all of it, and there were definitely parts of it I liked. Again, I
Right.
second you with the I kind of wish the story was stronger. This is like the first story away from a Skywalker sort of thing, and like I just, you know, there's literally like millions of other stories that could be told. This was okay, but there were, for sure, for me, there just could have been stronger ones. But I don't want that to sound like I hated the show and I hate people that watch the show. It's not it at all. It wasn't my favorite.
It sounds like you hated the show and you hate people who watch
Yeah,
the show.
can we end this sooner? No, I'm sorry. No, but overall, it's my stance. Don't attack me in the streets. But yeah, so Drake's gonna come real harsh, and I don't back anything this guy says. You could note that. This guy's a fucking liar. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No.
He's an extremist.
He's a streets guy.
Extreme.
Fascist. I will have some positives to say, so go to
Okay.
talk, Drake.
X
Be
Games
honest.
of this fucking situation.
Yeah, let's get real for a sec. Okay?
Yeah. So, it got canceled, and I think rightfully so, because it was the worst performing show that has been created Star Wars wise, in terms of I mean, aside from Star Wars: The Holiday Special back in the day, just in terms
Damn,
of views and overall.
That's a big statement. I don't know if that's true, but we'll
Yeah.
commence. Yeah.
We'll commence. But just in terms of the numbers, right? And I think a really large part of it is just the lack of humility from the cast who has spoken out, some of the cast who has spoken out, right? In terms of it wasn't supposed to be for you, and it wasn't, you know, it was supposed to be a new take on things. But then from the beginning, right, the lack of humility of going into an already established intellectual property such as Star Wars with one of the hugest fan bases in entertainment, and to try to put a spin on it so that it can be quote unquote yours, which is rightfully so, but to push it as it was, and then to be defensive as it was, and then to say that, you know, for example, you weren't surprised because of all of the negative things and reviews and, you know, whatever the bigots and blah blah blah. On top of the fact that it was one of the worst performing shows, like, as a fan, what else are you supposed to take from that? Like, take it on the nose, do better next time, and realize that, you know, have you watched it? Like, have you watched it? Have you compared it to other Star Wars series? Like, what is it that you thought was going to come of it, based on all of the things that you know, oh, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that, and yet it wasn't anything that anybody wanted. So at the end of the day, it has to be you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a big majority of people out there who did watch it that really did enjoy it.
There are things
yeah.
to enjoy,
Yeah,
but as a
Yeah.
whole, right? Like, you know,
Yeah.
there were great things about World War II in terms of what it did for certain economies and certain individuals, right? But
Whoa, see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. I don't back anything.
Oh
this guy says.
yeah. Like we mentioned earlier. Oh my, Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do. And yeah, like I don't. Yeah, it wasn't the. There did feel like there was a level of agenda pushing, but if you take that out of the equation for me, and I really, you guys know that it doesn't really bother me. Like I don't care about agenda pushing per se. You know, I don't really love it when it's too obvious, but I think as a society we have to progress, and sometimes change is tough and it's hard, and you know we don't feel comfortable with it or whatever, right? But maybe we should. And you know, I don't think that this show fairly should have been the representation of that, although I can see examples of where that felt like it maybe was. You know, like you do have a couple of different you have a black lead actress and you have some Asian lead actors, and I mean, I don't think that was a bad choice by any means. And I will say, I think having Manny Jacinto was probably the dopest thing they could have had in the show, because for me, he was the coolest thing to come out of the show. He was a badass. His reveal, and this is where the thing, where where it falls short for me. It was so obvious he was the villain. They didn't even set up anybody else to be the villain, really, right? You're like, I mean, I guess it could be May and Osha, or maybe she has a twin, but it was like kind of obvious she was a twin from the marketing. And then it was like, well, he keeps saying, he like knows more about the Sith than anybody else, and he keeps like pushing her down this path. Yeah, of course he's the villain. So I think that for me, from like a narrative standpoint, was just so pathetic. Maybe like it could have been deeper. At least give us one other type of red herring so we think it's a villain and it's not. But again, I digress. I think Manny Jacinto was a fantastic character. As what was his name?
Quimar or
Oh, Chimere.
Chimere.
Yeah, Chimere was dope. I mean, Chimere was dope. He was such a dope character. The Cortosis helmet, the way he fought, like all of that stuff was so cool. Sick. Daphne Keane, she was amazing. I'm kind of going to go down some of the characters here, and this is, you know, and this will help me align my perspective on what was great about it and what was not great. So, Carrie-Anne Moss, right? We get her in the first episode. Everybody knows her as Trinity. She's a badass martial artist. Everybody takes her seriously, and great actress. She gets killed off in the first episode. Now, I wasn't too upset about it, but I heard there was a lot of people that were really upset that she got killed the way she did right off the bat. I didn't think it was terrible because I knew we were going to get it in flashbacks. But then the flashbacks we got, to me, didn't elevate her enough in the beginning so that by the time the show wraps up, I'm like, dang, they really used her character well. To me, I never felt like she got the justice her character deserved. Another character I want to throw out there, Lee Jung-jae. Phenomenal actor, right? Squid Games, I mean, it's all I know him from, but what he did in Squid Games was enough for me to think this guy deserves every Emmy that's out there. I just never felt what he was feeling, like, and I don't think that was from him, because again, I think he's a fantastic actor. Yeah. I don't think the story allowed him, for me to really feel like he just wanted this Padawan so much that he screwed up and he made all these mistakes. Like, it just was like, why was he so dumb? I don't know. And that's how it came across to me. Everybody hated. There was a big online community that was like Yord Horde, that was like, Yord's the best. You're the best. If you watch other shows out there, House of the Dragon, I'm gonna throw out some big names: Breaking Bad, The Bear. There was nothing there for me to grab on that would make me really like Yord. He was such like a teacher's pet and a nerd, and then ultimately got his neck snapped. And the only thing that was unexpected was how he died for me.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Daphne Keane, we just saw her in Deadpool and Wolverine. We saw her in the last Wolverine movie, Logan. She's been a tremendous actor. I think her character was kind of wasted. I mean, it was cool how she went out. Don't get me wrong. Her action was sick, and she did her job. But, man, just for her to get 3-0 punched and then out was just like, wow. That was, So, and then Vernestra, right? Vernestra had this huge following from the High Republic. She's one of the main characters. Everybody loves her. And then we get the light whip. It kills one moth. I know I'm going to harp on this to the end of days. The light whip kills one moth. That's all it was used for. Yeah. Why even tease us with it?
Pest control, yep.
But on one pest. It was like if you pulled out a bazooka for one cockroach, they were like, yeah, I'm going to save this for later.
Big cockroach.
It must have been. It must
Mowing
have
them
been.
down.
That's the thing.
Oh,
Like, okay,
nice.
so like,
World War Z.
yeah, what was he in animes when like they introduce a character's power or something like that's something they'll do. Like they'll do something cool and you're like, whoa! In a couple issues or maybe some day down the line, we'll get that. Maybe that's something in season 2. If we were to get one, we'd see like crazy whip fight, you know. But it was quite the tease. We didn't see anything else of it, so it was like a show with something more, like because that was
Right.
like yeah, it was just like
Yeah.
a oh let's sprinkle in something cool.
Right.
Or
Just to
like
keep people
she didn't even need to do
interested.
that. It seemed like
Yeah.
they're so powerful. They could have just like she could have force crushed it. She could have done I don't know whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and so unfortunately, like I think that this show didn't deliver on these aspects of the character that would really make, at least for me, latch onto them and really like, man, I wonder what happens to them next. I mean, and I'm sure Amanda Stenberg. I mean, she is so talented. I outside of this show and everything and her in her personal life, I think she's badass. Like I really like her. She seems like a super cool person. She's a talented musician, but like I didn't feel like she was a strong actress in this show for me. Like I was like I don't see her as a main character in anything for me moving forward. I will be hesitant if I see that.
Right.
Yeah. So I just want to say too, like, yes, there was a lot of talent, actor actress wise. You don't have to make a mark by doing something outside the box or redefining characters, etc. You can do your own thing and make your own mark and give your own message without having to step on other things. You don't have to change established things to make them change. That sounds. Hold on, that
I
doesn't
know
sound
what you
right.
mean though.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can make your own mark without having to destroy things or redo things, etc., etc.
See,
Yeah.
that's the thing though, because like from what I heard from people who met Leslie Headland and like how she did it, she has a big love and she is a real fan of Star Wars, at least like the legends and all that. So and apparently she knows them pretty well. So I guess my question is like, will they try to do something different outside of the Skywalker saga? But it's not. And this is why. Because this story ultimately
Oh yeah.
leads to the fall of the Jedi in the prequels. So it's not something original. Like, you're saying, like, hey, it's disconnected from the Skywalker saga. It's really not, though. Because
And
you're
it
telling me.
convolutes the whole thing too because
Right.
it just rewrites certain things and blah blah blah. But
Yeah, but
go ahead.
yeah, exactly. And so I think that's just what was funking about that and that defense from people because you're basically telling me this was the seed that was planted that explains why the Jedi were blind to the Sith in the prequel movies. And like that's cool, but one, why make all the Jedi evil then in a sense or like that bad or mistaken or whatever? And then also like why have this story connect to that at all? Like this is your one chance to do the High Republic. Make it something completely different. This didn't have to be connected to the Jedi in a sense at all. Like it could have been this one random section, and I guess you could say that. But having Vernestra know a lot and then go back to the council and and probably not say things or to lie about things is just. I get it. I get the metaphor. It just never worked for me, and yeah, I don't know. So I think just the public discourse around this really did hurt it, but also like I think the story construction and like the point of the story just didn't really land for me at all, and I don't think it landed for a lot of people.
I agree. I mean, if so, did it make money? No. So it's gonna get canceled. Period. Point blank. Right? Like, what was there aside from Chimere and Light Whip and cool characters? What are you selling? Because everything that was
Basil.
being presented to the public
Basil.
for consumption was being
Why did
rejected
Basil do
wholeheartedly.
that thing he
Why
did?
did Basil do that? I don't have no clue.
They were trying to sell them stuffy toys though.
Yep.
That's for
I
damn
mean,
sure.
that's it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was like,
and then
he's so weird.
done and done. So it was I think it was a learning experience for everybody there, and I think it did allow for a gateway of things to be presented, and hopefully they just don't do it that way again. And when you have many, or so for example, like Star Wars Theory or other like Star Wars dedicated YouTubers and TikTokers and Instagrammers that are not necessarily appreciating that everything that came of it, like those people who are showing to hundreds of thousands of sometimes millions of other Star Wars fans, if they're also disagreeing with it, I mean, what do you think the majority of the Star Wars fans are going to do. Like, if you can't please the people who are watching it and in it, and their livelihood is based off of it, then what do you, I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I
It's an
yeah.
interesting one because I also wonder again, like people would be like, well, because they're racist or they're sexist or whatever, like they.
That can't be an excuse for everything, right?
You
Like,
know
so,
what makes it hard too? I
It
think.
could be true, but I just don't
yeah,
think that's. I
not
don't
not in
think
this
that was
case.
the
Yeah,
problem with this story.
yeah,
Yeah.
agree,
Yeah.
Sorry, Scott. Go
agree.
for it.
No. I'm sorry. I think what makes it hard is like, so if you look at the rating of this, right? It's TV 14, right? I think what makes it hard is like there's kind of so much, but such a funnel type of Star Wars everyone gets now that like you got these adults like us watching shows that are like TV 14. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
That made me
Oh,
so
that's
sad.
true. Yeah,
and
yeah.
like,
That made me
like
so
let's
sad.
be honest, yeah.
Like adults like us
Yeah,
was like, damn it, you're right, man.
Let's be honest here. Like, if the TV 14 crowd, like if they love it, then I guess they nailed it, right? Um, but there's, with the whole nostalgia thing and everything, like, it would be smart right now for Star Wars. I don't know how much longer they could do it. Probably much. I don't know how long this nostalgia train is gonna run because it feels like it's like this generations of stuff. But if they had like a more like the for me, the most exciting thing about the Acolyte was when Manny was just wrecking shit. I was like, holy
I thought you
crap.
were gonna say when he's taking off his shirt.
That too, dude.
Damn, baby.
No, but when he was just wrecking stuff, you're like, whoa, this is cool. Not only because like it seemed like so not TV 14. That
Right.
part of it felt like I was like, okay, there's stakes. People are actually dying.
Murdering.
It feels like this guy's scary now. If the story could be tighter, if it was just like more for an adult audience, I feel like it could do really well. I don't see why they can't, like a Deadpool, split, do like stuff for like an older audience and then stuff for kids too. Like I
Yeah, they're
think
doing it with
there's
Andor.
yeah, like I think there's a Jedi story they could do that's like for adults mainly, and then you could still do stuff like this, and then just like I think
Yeah.
more adults that are expecting like better storytelling, like Andor, like like that's the kind of stuff they want to see. They want to see like Rogue One. They want to see that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
When they get the Acolyte and they're like, oh man, the writing, like I mean, I was for sure was like, man, the writing is like, what the heck, or like, oh, the character is kind of weak, and it reminds me of like what is that show? Like Vampire Diaries ish, like whatever that network. I forget that network, but
CW or something.
CW.
Like that.
Yeah, it felt like a kind of a CW type of show, which is always like they're decent, but they're not like amazing. Like Arrow was cool at the time, Flash was cool at the time, but like they weren't like the pinnacle of like the best I imagine them ever being. So I think because we're not getting that other stuff, it's like we're all focused on like this one version of it, and I think it's that could be something up that's like at
Yeah.
play.
I agree. I think you nailed it. Like, I don't think they ever got the tone right for the demographic. Like, I don't know who this show is for, to your point.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
for kids or is it for adults? And is it like, are you trying to just feed everybody? Because if you are, I don't think they landed that. Like, something about the Into the Spider-Verse movie, doesn't matter if you're like 8 years old or you're 88. Like, there's something about that works. But this show didn't catch that, and it was like, yeah, there was like cheesy moments for kids, and there was things that were like, damn, this should be rated R almost. So you're right, like they never balanced that line very well. So I think you nailed it on that point. And again, I don't know who asked about this story. If you enjoyed this show and it got canceled, I'm sorry, that's a bummer. But I am not surprised it got canceled. It after episode 3 did not work for me. And I wanted it to, and even like you have some of the best writers and access to money and sets, everything, and like this is the level of storytelling we're getting. It's just crazy when you also compare it to, again, we did this all season, a show like House of the Dragon that had a very similar budget, and the storytelling is just leaps and bounds above the Acolyte. So again, maybe not a fair comparison, but just from a money perspective, it's just like what happened here.
Yeah, and it's like we know the potential of the project, or like like we know it could reach such great heights. It's like for me, I'm a little disappointed. I think that's what it comes down to too. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, you could do
Bummed.
way better than this.
Right. Yep.
And it's cool to like it. I mean, you can settle, but Nah, that was a jab. I'm sorry, but it's cool if you like it. Really, legitimately, it's cool if you like it. I'm not taking that away from you, but I just know they could do so much more with this type of property. Like,
But
it's
that's
crazy.
I mean, so yes, people were critical. Yes, it is not necessarily the best thing to be critical when, positivity throughout could be the case. But when it comes to this type of thing, if we just think about it as in a business aspect, right?
Mm.
If if any human being put that out there and it didn't make money, what's going to happen? Period, point blank. And so you have to then reevaluate why it went that way and then change it. And
Right.
sometimes you got to take people out of positions and sometimes you got to put people in positions. But is it wrong for us to be critical? Definitely not. Is it awesome to see good viewpoints in it? For sure. At the same point in time, it is still a failing thing. So even though
Right.
there is good in it, right? We need to people just need to recognize it was a failure. Period, point
Yeah,
blank.
the
Like
product didn't sell enough.
no.
That's just
So
what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well said.
Yep. Good point.
Well said. Yeah, interesting. Manny Jacinto has said his life goal is to create a season 2.
Yeah.
I just want to see Chimera again. I'm cool with
dude,
that.
Yeah.
create a separate origin story for him. Make it rated R or
Dude,
just do that.
yes.
That.
Dude, yes.
I just
Call it the
want
bad
him.
place.
Yeah,
just want him.
The bad. The dark place.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, we'll leave it at that because I think that's a perfect button on that conversation. Well said, Drake and Scott. Both of you guys made some great points there. Now, moving on, we're getting something from Marvel. This leaked, it was everywhere. Major news sites were reporting it, so we're going to talk about it. Ebon Moss Bacharach's The Thing from Fantastic Four, a photo got leaked of him, and it looks like they're using a very practical costume and makeup. Did you guys see this photo?
I did.
Yeah. So it's just funny. Like, it kind of goes back to that original, not original, but the one with Chris Evans and Jessica Alba. That Fantastic Four where the guy was just like literally painted on rocks on him.
Yeah.
I don't know. What were your thoughts on it? Because for me, like, I'm not digging it, but I also want to be fair, like our Superman chat earlier with James Gunn's Superman, where it's like it's too soon to tell. I don't know. I can't see the suit move. I haven't seen if they're going to add
Yeah.
special effects to it
Yeah.
or CGI to it. I didn't think it was awesome, but I'm like, all right, I can't judge it yet. What are your thoughts?
What's crazy is sometimes, sorry, real quick, like sometimes in movies I'll see something like maybe a small part of the movie, there's like they look at the newspaper and there's like a thing, like people in that painting or in the newspaper or whatever it is, right? And you're like, man, people maybe came to set that day, was like, I'm shooting a part in a movie, only to be a picture in a thing to show for 2 seconds, right? So who knows, like in what like
Capacity
way
they
we're gonna
use it.
get that, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that could be like a faraway shot, something they even like use to like layer CG over, makes it maybe like that's how they do it now.
Right.
Like there's so many different things that they could do with that.
Yeah.
It's too close to. It's like it'd be crazy to assume that like the whole movie would be that. And if it was, I'd assume at this point they probably know what they're doing. But
Because look at the Hulk, and look at Groot.
yeah,
Like both of those have been fantastic.
CG has been it's one thing that I think you could take to the bank with this because the Thing is technically slightly smaller than Groot and definitely smaller than the Hulk, right? So when you think about the Thing as being like rock formations, if you were to CG it and make it look fluid, it could be awesome. But I think this adds an elemental dimension because Ibn Moss is going to have to move in it, and if he can move naturally in it, it's going to look kind of more quote unquote natural, right? If it's awkward, then you're going to kind of see too what it's like to be an awkward human being as this thing. Maybe he's getting
I never
used
thought
to it,
about
right?
that.
In that situation. So it's like a human being moving into the awkwardness that is that rock formation that
new
is his body.
body.
So it could be
Yeah.
also it probably could be real less expensive, which is probably going to add into it as well too.
that's yeah.
Plus, it'll save him millions.
Yeah. I mean, fucking just like styrofoam fucking body.
yeah. You're right. I didn't think about like him being in a new body and his body feels weird, so he moves weird. That's a cool perspective. I didn't think about it like that because I've kind of re-jumped into some Fantastic Four comics, and he's kind of an awkward, bumbly character. Like one of the biggest scenes from the original again, I'm keep saying original Fantastic Four because this was original to me.
Yeah.
I forgot what the actor was from The Shield that played the Thing,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
he kept trying to grab things in it and he couldn't pinch it because his fingers were too big.
Oh,
I
yeah,
loved that scene. I was like, wow, that's such a good depiction of how shitty it would be to be the Thing, along with like, he could probably feel things, but he's like feels like rocks to people or his girlfriend. Like I thought that was one of the best depictions. So
Yeah.
expanding on that to his full range of motion and body movement and everything, like that would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So
His name
I
was
dig it.
or is Michael
It was.
Chiklis.
Oh my god,
Used to
Chicklets,
be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he crushed it. Like, it looked funny, but like, he was kind of a sick thing, and like his relationship with Chris Evans, Human Torch, is
Yeah.
was so good, and I mean
Yeah.
so good in fact that we're still getting Human Torch now from Deadpool Wolverine. So it's like, dude, yeah.
And you know what? To be
Excited.
fair, like when that movie came out in 2005, like I was cool with it. You know, it reminded me of like with the old school Ninja Turtles. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was like I was on board with it. You know, so I know
Yeah.
people give a shit, but
Well, the leaked trailer for it and the world they're creating, man, I'm not saying go out there and like find it, but you can find it, and it is freaking cool. Like the clip they put together in 2 weeks of filming is like, I just want that to be the trailer. I don't want anything else. It's just the aesthetic of it is so dope. That's cool. So go check that out for sure. But yeah, I guess TBD. But I also like how his costume is also matching up with Joseph Quinn's costume that was leaked or I guess shown at D23, where it's like the white on top and then the blue, it's like very old school looking uniforms.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sick too. Sick.
Yeah, it looks cool. Like, yeah, I'm on board. So yeah, I agree with you, Scott. It's too soon to tell, but yeah, we will see. We will see.
yeah.
All right, let's move into some reviews because this movie I really want to see. I've not had the chance yet. Moving and all that stuff has gotten in the way. And I kind of want to go back and watch the other Alien movies before I go check this out. But Scott, why don't you tell us about Alien Romulus? Because I think this movie in the timeline is placed between the first Alien movie and then Aliens, the second movie.
Yes. So I looked that up because I didn't know any of this going in. I was just kind of
Oh,
like,
okay.
like I was like, oh, I think this takes place. Like a fool, I did this. But Alien Romulus, Google says, takes place in 2142.
Okay.
It's between the first Alien, like you said, which took place in 2122, and Aliens takes place in 2183. So
Oh wow.
it's like pretty much like right in between. And it's like the planet they show in Romulus that like the miners are trying to leave and everything, like, or this crew is trying to leave, is that planet that the Marines come down on, and it like it's all like more run down.
Aliens.
I saw this like side by side thing, and it was in like a happening city scene in Romulus. They have like this big sign that says like bar, and then in Aliens, you see that same sign, but it's like I think in like the director's cut, like you still see it, but it's like ghost town almost looking. So it's kind of cool. The I feel like looking at everything in this movie, like everything from like the futuristic analog stuff that they had in the first movie, even the intro, like the way it's like things are booting up and everything, to like the costumes, like everything felt so immersive with the Aliens franchise, especially like the beginning films. I think they freaking nailed it. It was cool to see pretty much like an all new cast, but like be invested. Like, yeah, I'm in Aliens, because sometimes it's like, it's like hit or miss, right? I'm like, I don't know, like is this the next Sigourney Weaver? Like, is this, you can't help
Yeah.
compare to like these big names, but I think all these actors like crushed it in what they were doing.
Yeah, it's like a powerhouse young acting group, right?
Yeah, that like I'm personally unfamiliar with, but I could see them being in big things that are maybe more mainstream. Like, if
Yeah.
that's what they want to do, I feel like they're all talented enough to like kind of get whatever they want after this. We saw
Yeah.
one dude from, I think he was in Shadow and Bone on Netflix. He's in
Which one
this.
is it?
He was the
Is it Archie
Let me pull up the
Renault?
cast real
He
quick.
played Tyler or something.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
Kaylee
Yep.
Spaney is like, I mean, Isabella Merced, obviously, she's huge now, but like, Kaylee Spaney is blowing up too.
Oh, okay. And like I didn't recognize. I mean, maybe I'm just unfamiliar, but David Johnson. Who plays Andy. He plays like the cyborg in this.
Oh,
And like,
spoiler alert, dude.
no, you find out like right in the beginning. It's not like the
do?
original one where
Oh, okay.
you don't know. Yeah, you like you know. Sorry.
Okay, I was like, dang. Wait,
You
who
actually
is
don't
it?
know, and I spoiled it.
Oh,
No. He's like
Good
he's
save.
like the android. But you find out in the beginning of the film like he's an android, who his purpose is to, like protect like Kaylee, and he's kind of like damaged, so he's like a stutter, and he's like, she almost like looks after him, it seems, and like she calls him his brother,
it's a twist.
and she like really cares for him. So and like he does such a good job. Like you already are on board with like, you know, like these dudes picking on this robot. You're like, dude, fucking lay off the robot, dude. Like, you know, like you see him as a person. They do such a good job, and he crushes it. And you know, there's a turning point in this movie where he like, when they go on the ship, like his whole character and stuff changes, and like him like switching into that was really cool to see. It's got to be awesome for an actor to become like basically two characters in the same film.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I felt like this movie captured like a lot of the suspense that you felt in those original films. I felt like they, even though you know it's like Alien, they still do a good job of like kind of slowly introducing you to like what the things are. Like the face huggers, when you first see them, they're kind of frozen, and like they do this thing where it's like now it's like defrosting, but they don't know, but you see it and you're like, oh fuck. Like, you know, like you have this tension, you're like, oh, like you know it's gonna come, like, but you're like, get out of there. You're like, you know they're not, but it's
You know they're not.
it's great. And then, you know, like later when they start introducing like the xenomorphs, they kind of like slowly do it. They don't just show the monster, you know, like they slowly like bits and pieces, and then eventually it's revealed. And like I think overall, if you're a fan of the Alien franchise, it was a really good time. There's definitely things here and there you're like, that could have been written a little tighter. Like, I don't know why this character did this or what have you. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but they introduced some new lore as well to the Alien franchise. So
Ooh,
that was
that's
kind of cool,
cool.
building on stuff. So, yeah, if you're a fan of the originals, I'd say definitely it's worth a look. Like, it's a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's been talking about it, and I think it's the second biggest movie in the Aliens franchise. Like, it's made the second most amount of money. Let's see. Let's see. What does this thing say? The figure is higher than 88 million in the film. Or
Oh,
something.
nice! Wow. Oh,
But-
and also there. Oh, sorry. Go.
Oh no, sorry. I think right now it's at 459 million
Oh, nice.
on a, like a
Wait, what?
80, on a 50
Globally?
million, $80 million budget or something.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
Jesus
freaking awesome.
Christ.
yeah,
That's
it's
making
been
so
crushing.
banked.
So yeah,
Hopefully
Um,
they're negotiating contracts like freaking.
Yeah, I hope they do.
what the
I
heck,
feel like they
right?
could do more with this, and just have it happening simultaneously with like
Yeah.
the other Alien movies, you know.
right.
But yeah, I
Aliens
think there was
versus
a
Star
lot of
Wars.
nods. I think they did it right too. There's a lot of nods to like the original Alien movie, like whether it be like actions they do or like lines that are similar and stuff. Like a lot of cool nods where if you watch them, you'd know, and if not, still fun, you know.
Yeah, it still
so
works
it's
in
great.
the story.
Yeah, a lot of
That's
cool
awesome.
stuff. I really enjoyed it.
Can you tell me one of your favorite moments within the movie where you're like, don't do that? Did you get mad in this movie?
Yeah, there was definitely
Okay.
a moment.
Yeah. Tell me about
Um,
it. Or is it too?
okay, spoilers. Okay, I'll just
Is
spoil
that-
it
Just
a little bit.
one little spoiler. Spoiler.
Okay.
everybody.
Okay, there's okay, I won't super spoil. There's a scene where they're supposed to be fucking quiet. Okay, and that's like the
Great.
one rule. Get in here. Like
Okay.
we're gonna walk through here. Just be fucking quiet. Okay, and then the
They're
dude
like,
gets like he has his, you know, radio head. He's like, what? Reese? No, it's over. And you're like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, get through the fucking room and then talk. But afterwards, you get it because the situation the other person's in is pretty dire, and their relationship is like a pretty strong one. You know, so it's like you get it.
But it still makes
But-
you mad.
But you're like, it's like your survival brain's like, because if you're the other person, you're like, you just shut the fuck up. Like, what the fuck?
Is it like, okay, when you see a lane is ending, You're driving, right? You're driving. You see, you're in the right lane is ending. You're in the middle lane, and they're coning it off, and you know the person has to merge. But then you see them zoom past you and try to cut in last minute, and you're like, you're kind of pissed at them, but you know they have to do it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
because yeah, it's like I get it. Technically, I get it, but you're like, dude, that's not how.
You
I mean,
dick.
yeah, it was one of those, and it's like they're lucky. It turned out the way it ends up turning out in that scenario. Whatever, like that's kind of I don't know. Just
Yeah.
he's supposed to be quiet. He wasn't quiet. You're like, what? Like, and maybe that's the point. You're supposed to be like, because it adds to the suspense. You're like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, what are you doing? But it's good. They did a good. So you know they did a good job if you're that invested. You know,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hilarious.
you're not like,
Oh,
what is this
man.
idiot doing? And I was just like, dude, like but it's good.
Nice.
Definitely, yeah. And then there was some other cool stuff that they happened in the movie that like I didn't expect. Like stuff they do with like gravity and stuff like was pretty sick. So it was like it was like really cool. They because they're on a space station. Some of the hallway, like some stuff kind of looked the same all the time. It's probably why like the budget was like smaller and stuff. You could do a lot with it, but the way they were able to use gravity and zero G and stuff was like it was really cool too. So a lot of cool sci-fi stuff in this for sure.
That's awesome. One of my favorite things to come out of this, though, and it made me instantly excited, is that Fade Alibert, as the director, said that his dream project would be, and now that this movie is as successful as it is, would be to team up with the director who did Prey. And I think we all loved Prey, that Predator movie.
AVP, let's go.
Yes. So he has his dream movie, he said, would be to take the Aliens franchise and then that guy's Predator franchise, and they would co-direct a movie together, their own version of an Alien vs Predator. And I was
That
like,
could be
dude,
sick.
That could be
that
sick.
would be amazing.
Because it really felt like they both like really love and appreciate the franchise,
Yep.
and they did it right. So oh my god,
Yep.
that'd be amazing.
Exactly. So for me, God, I hope that happens now. I will see this movie probably by the time we do our next episode, but this looks amazing. I'm happy you got to see it, and it lived up to the hype. All right, let's jump into the Rings of Power. And I'm not sure, Drake, you for me are like my Lord of the Rings like professional. Like if I have questions on the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, you had the books, you had the extended edition. Like, have you been able to watch season 2?
I have not. I thought it was coming out like September, not now. I thought it was coming out later.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
now I know that it's out. It's
it's
gonna
okay.
be
This Thursday you get another, so you get 4 episodes.
Yeah,
Nice.
you'll have a 4-episode drop.
You get an extended cut of Lord of the Rings.
Let's do it.
Just the way
All
you
day,
like
it.
every day, dude.
Yeah, and they also started doing the House of the Dragon thing, where it's like the director and the writers or whatever talk, and the actors talk after. So you get a little bit of that. So you pretty much have like 5 hours of stuff to watch.
That's very
Sick,
awesome.
dude.
Thursday.
Sick, dude.
So I see the quality in this show. I see where the money went. I think the actors are tremendous. I'm not interested in this show.
Explain.
I am.
Drake, looks like you're not watching it this week. So
Ew.
Listen, like people are like, God, these first 3 episodes are better than the entire first season. I didn't love the first season. I got through it. There was things I liked about it. This is like too slow for me. It's too slow. I am not invested in the characters as much as I want, except for the dwarves. I like the dwarves. They're pretty cool. The Galadriel story and Elrond is whatever. It starts off the show really cool though.
Okay,
It starts off showing kind of an origin story, not the origin of Sauron, but the origin of Sauron for this story. And it's really, really well done, and it's really cool how they do it. That aspect is awesome. But once it got past that, dude, I had to I fell asleep numerous times and had to restart several parts to get through it. I'm, again, not dogging on you if you like this show. I obviously don't understand Lord of the Rings enough to maybe enjoy this, but there's a lot of callbacks to the original Peter Jackson series, apparently. Dude, I'm just not that hooked.
yeah,
Okay.
It's not getting me.
I'm digging it. Christine is the one that I can ask all the Lord of the Rings questions and
Yeah. Did you read the books?
Silmarillions. I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
Silmarillion, say it correct.
Silmarillions. I'm sorry.
Wow.
People are getting real angry right
Wow.
now, and I had no business doing that.
They're like,
and I
why do we
apologize.
come to listen to these
did
guys?
that.
It's like, they don't know shit.
You didn't deserve that. I'm sorry. But that one, and so I'm able to ask questions like, oh, like, like they're making the rings, and I'm like, just asking more. Like, I think that kind of helps, because you're right, it is kind of slow enough for me to be able to ask questions during the show and still know what's going on.
Right. Like House of Dragon, like I would want to look things up, but things are moving so fast. You're like, I gotta remember that and then look it up after the show.
Yeah, it's like everything's so purposely done, and House of Dragons, like you can miss something, miss like the way someone did something, and you're like, that meant something big or something. But yeah, and this it's like it's kind of slow going. I'm digging it. It's like some character relationships are stronger than others for me, but I think overall like it's kind of cool, like learning more about the lore. Especially from Christine, because the cool thing is too, like Christine's like, it's been a while, so I think this is like, so it's not like she's like they did that shit, she's kind of enjoying it too.
I wish she did though. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
They did that shit.
They fucking missed that. Yeah, for sure. That's wrong. But yeah, it's cool. I'm so far I'm digging it, and I agree. I do like the dwarf relationship. I do like the relationship, like I forget what the dwarf's name, but him and his father
during
just like
the fourth and like during
yeah,
the third,
like you guys are so stubborn, like
that part was good. I like that a lot.
and all the dwarf lore and everything's pretty cool, like the stone singers or what were they?
Yeah, we posted a little funny meme on our social media if you go check it out. But like, yes, the stone singers, the singers of the stone, I think they call it like recollate. I don't know, something. It's like, it's not that big of a word, and yet I can't think of what it is.
It's fine. But there's a lot of made up words in this show, if you didn't know.
That is true.
Yeah, it's just kind of a cool fantasy show to have right now, I think I don't know. I can't tell you why certain shows bother me that they're not amazing and certain shows don't. But for whatever reason, this show right now is like, I'm digging it. It's not like, I'm not like, you guys gotta watch it, But if you like fantasy one, it's cool. I think it's itching that for me, that scratching that itch.
Right, right. Like, I agree with you, and it is super nice to have it. And again, like if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, like gosh, what a time to be getting these shows back, and you have the anime coming out, and the new Gollum project that it was just announced. Like all that super, yeah, like all that stuff looks super dope. And I don't know, but just some reason, like this show. I don't know if we're covering it on Challenge Accepted week in, week out, but if we weren't doing this podcast, I don't know if I would stick with it from what I've seen so far. Like it's just like there's too many storylines, and none of them like are compelling enough. Like we know that Wizard is probably Gandalf, but they're not saying it. Like, and he's slowly building up his powers and whatever. I think that's cool, but and there's a lot of similarities between Sam and Frodo and Gandalf and like that relationship, but like these characters aren't hooking me the way that Frodo and Sam did with Gandalf.
For sure.
I'm like, all right, like okay, it was cool. The elf story, like Galadriel, I think she's an amazing actress and she's so intense. Don't care about what happens there, I guess. The elf that we kind of get finally in episode 3, like he's a badass, but it's episode 3. And and we get a small stint with him. What is his name? Drake. He's the guy that like chops off Sauron's fingers and drops the ring. Yggdrasil.
Isildur?
Isildur. Yeah, like it took a while to get back to see like, okay, who thought he was dead? He wasn't dead. Okay, he wasn't dead. But it just. Yeah, I wish that I was more invested the way I am about a House of the Dragon, or for me X-Men 97. That's not really fair, but like things like that.
Yeah, no, I could see that. There's like little cool things though, like so with the guy we know as Gandalf, you're like, oh, that's why they need staffs,
Right,
like,
that's
it's
true.
like
that was
untamed power. Like it's kind of cool to see some of that stuff.
The
and then I guess.
Idea, oh, sorry, I was gonna just jump in with you, but go.
Do it.
No, I was just gonna say the whole thing with like the rings, like why the rings are powerful. I like
Yeah.
that explanation.
Oh yeah. And just like little. I mean, granted, because we're able to talk there, it's just funny. Like anytime you see, because Isildur is he's the guy who just doesn't throw the ring right in the. He doesn't
Right.
throw the
Yeah,
ring
he
in the end.
keeps it. Yeah.
And what's his name? The elf. The guy who
Elrond?
Elrond is that?
Yeah.
That's the guy who ends up being in the movies, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like while I'm watching, I'm like, that's that guy, right, Christine? Like, I'm always asking. But it's funny to think like we're like, man, his whole life he's telling people like, get rid of the ring, dude. Like, stop wearing rings. Like, stop. And everyone's like, they're kind of nice, and they're putting them on. And he's like, this is a bad idea. And then all up to like the very end, we know. He's like, nah, I'm gonna keep it, you know. So anytime we see that guy, we're like, fuck that guy. He didn't throw it into the volcano. Like, there's like little things where we're just like having fun while we're watching it. I don't think this is like the way normal people watch this show, but this is the way I do.
Jealous.
And,
I'm jealous of what you and your wife have. I'm not gonna lie.
That's funny
And
as
that sounds
fuck,
like a
though.
special way to watch the show.
yeah,
As I had Chrissy, I was like, Chrissy, you want to check this out? She's like, no. I'm like, okay.
Christine's the one that pointed that out with the ring. Like, man, this guy, his whole life, he's just trying to stop people from wearing rings, and no one listens to him, and he knows what he's talking about.
For
And I'm like,
hundreds
yeah, you're
of
right.
years.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. But
So-
I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
Yeah,
I'm interested
I
to
have
see
you on
what
that, for real.
because I know very little, but I'm kind of like enjoying it the way I'm enjoying it. Like you guys just kind of got a sneak peek into. But I'm interested to hear how Drake takes it in and like what his thoughts are on it.
Me too.
Or someone that's like knows a lot of the lore and like if they're doing a good job or not, like just from your perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'll get in it, and then we can have a reconvene episode 4.
Nice.
Right on.
Nice.
You-
I'm gonna let you take it away, Drake, because I still gotta know what the thing is called when they like sing to the stones. There was like a bunch of articles about it. Now I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Take it away.
To be honest, I'm not super informed of the song. The
Silmarillion.
Yeah, the Silmarillion and the Song of the Stones,
Mhm.
and things of such like that. But because it was read a long time ago, and apparently I don't know how to read and recall information based off of my test
Nah,
scores.
but it's also written in a different way. It wasn't like Lord of the right. It was more of like an informative. type
yes,
of,
and it
so
was
it's
more
harder
like
to
this is
take
what it
in.
is. It's
Yeah.
more like a encyclopedia of certain things.
Yeah.
But what I will do is I will take both out because I have the Silmarillion handy. I'll take both into account, and then I'll reconvene with you upon episode 4.
Very nice. Yeah, let's do it. I'm still looking it up. I'm gonna have to find it in a second, but basically,
We'll put it in the
let's-
show notes.
No, I'm gonna say it. This one.
Okay, good.
I'm determined now. But that's the Rings of Power. Let's move on to a new anime that dropped, set in the Terminator universe, called
Whoa.
Terminator Zero. Were you able to watch
Was that
this?
Netflix?
Yeah.
Honestly, I
Netflix.
didn't know this dropped. So
You guys don't watch our story. That's cool.
no, the thing is, I did, and then
But the thing with my bank account is
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've watched the first couple episodes of it. It's pretty interesting. I like what they're doing with it. I'm hooked from the first episode. The animation on it is super freaking cool. It's exciting. It's kind of giving like, another with these timelines and the way you can kind of, retro causality, basically,
Yeah.
whatever you do in the past will affect the future. It makes it interesting so they can keep adapting and creating new stories. I'm kind of hooked on it. I like it. I like the characters so far, and the action's been really badass. So,
could you talk to us a
I'm
little bit
hooked on it.
more about the story plot and if it's similar to what we know or if it's
So where I'm at, there is a scientist, and he's having some trauma. He's getting these visions about nuclear explosions all over the world, and he seemingly wants to stop it, and yet at the same time, his main job is to work with an AI and to help the AI realize things, I guess, from like a human perspective. And so, is he the cause of this whole Skynet thing? Is simultaneously this is happening. There is a main character called Nako, I think, and she is fighting Skynet and the AI robot or the Terminators in the future, and she's part of like the last stand of humans. And so in that time, they figure out a device to set her back into the past. So that's kind of it. Just I'm only like 2 episodes in, and she kind of becomes her own Terminator in a way, and also at this same time, like a Terminator is sent back to, I guess, kill the scientist or one of his kids.
Okay, I like that though. That's pretty sick.
It's pretty
Yeah,
sick.
it's cool. It's super bloody. It's violent. Um, it's very anime though too. I will say, like, if you're just coming in only knowing the original Terminators, like they ham it up. Like the kids definitely say kid things and do kid things like anime. Like the people scream like the like anime.
Okay.
Yeah, like that is very much in there. So
It's kind of goofy sometimes.
sometimes it's over the top, like
Okay.
almost a little too over the top for me, like I to the point where I was like, man, maybe I should just put on like the Japanese voice and then just like dub this or like subtitle this.
Yeah.
I just want the subtitles at this point. So but I was like too lazy because I was like, I don't want to read right now, so I just
Hey, we all have those moments.
yeah, but yeah, I didn't love all of the voices per se, but yeah, what I've seen from it, I'm like hooked. I'm in there for every episode.
Nice. How many episodes is it?
I think it's
Or
8.
are there?
Yeah,
wow.
I think it's
Nice.
8 is the magic number. Everybody's doing 8 episodes.
Pretty good, right? Like
8. Yeah,
eight's like a pretty sweet spot normally.
I want 10 though. I like, yeah, so 10. sometimes
Okay,
stretches
weirdo.
it. What
Right,
didn't
Trey?
um
No, I'm just joking.
didn't Fallout have 10?
I think it
Something
did.
had 10
Yeah,
recently,
yeah.
and it
No,
was, like, amazing.
some do. There are definitely shows where like they could be tighter. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. As long as you don't prolong it. But like back when we were growing up, there was like 14, 24 episode seasons,
Yeah.
and we're getting 8 now or 6. Like that's not enough sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we recently just talked about a show that had 8 episodes and didn't do anything with it, so.
Oh damn! Not touching that one.
What show was that?
I don't know. I got canceled. I don't remember the name.
Oh, who cares?
That's funny.
Just kidding. If you like the show, dude, I want to check this out though. Netflix, 8 eps. What are they? Half hours?
Yep. It's kind of less than half hour. I think it's like 20 something minutes.
Oh, pretty quick watch.
Oh,
then.
wow.
Really fast. So,
Especially for an actually, yeah, it's for like an anime. 8 is pretty.
Yeah, what's the deal with that, dude?
yeah. I don't know, but I'm digging it.
Okay.
Don't have to watch too much. Enjoy the little stories, and yeah, I'll probably watch more at the end of the night.
Real quick, I saw someone saying, kind of comparing it to that other anime one on Netflix that we like, set in the universe of. I
Yep,
thought I'd
you're
get the name by
almost
the end
there.
of the sentence,
What,
but I
what
forgot.
else is that?
Edge Runners. Edge
Oh,
Runners.
Oh,
Edge Runner.
Yeah, dude, I was really trying to stretch that out.
I know, yeah,
It will
yeah,
come
yeah.
to
You're doing
me.
a good job.
Universe.
I thought it was going to come.
I thought you were gonna describe the universe, but it was just like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
got
thought so
it.
You were
too,
so
dude.
close to coming, and then you didn't.
I know. Is that the worst? But
Sure is.
yeah, is it anything like Edge Runners, like in the style of like I don't know, because I just saw someone kind of compare it to, but I don't even know if that's fair to compare it to that.
Kind of, yeah, I think so. I mean, again,
Yeah.
I'm not super like this.
Fairly early on, yeah, you're saying.
Yeah, fairly early on, and
Fairly.
Very
Yeah.
fairly on. But yeah, I'm not there yet. But I can see that. I can see
Okay.
that right now. Although I still like Edge Runners the most because it's just so colorful and crazy.
It was so
God,
good.
I wish we
That's
would have got
good.
a season 2 of that. Show. That would've
Cyberpunk
been
2,
amazing.
let's go.
Yeah, I know. My brother discovered it like way late, and he was like texting me like while he was watching it. So he's like, "Oh, this is pretty cool. Holy crap! Like, it's kind of violent. Oh fuck! What the hell? Oh man, that ending though. Like it was just like the ups and downs of his emotions while watching it.
Hilarious.
Right.
That's
It's
a
funny.
perfect
So
impression,
good,
too.
Yeah.
I found the word too, by the way. Disa and her singers, they were trying to resonate to make the rock sing or to make the mountain to hear the
Oh,
mountain
yes.
resonating.
Oh,
God, that was gonna
resonating
kill
is the
me.
word. I really thought it was just like you're trying to find like Stone Singers or something like the official
No,
title.
yeah.
okay,
Apparently,
cool.
yeah. It was like the only word I could find when I couldn't find Stone Singers, and then now I couldn't find that word, and it was Stone Singers everywhere. So whatever. Thanks, internet. But anyways, we found it. So
Nice.
now you
Thanks.
feel a little better. All right, last thing I'm going to quickly touch on is Black Myth Wukong. This game dropped everywhere. It broke all the Steam records for a single-player game, and again, didn't have time for much, even though it sounds like I did a lot. I'm like maybe 45 minutes, an hour in the game, and it starts off really cool. So for those who probably have listened this far to hear about this game, they kind of know. It's about, the story from I think it's a Chinese story about what's the story called? A Journey to the East or Journey to the West, I think.
A journey. Yeah, a journey to the
Yeah,
west.
and it's kind of like a monkey demigod, and he's trying to collect these 6 artifacts to like restore power or get back his life. But just from what I played so far, the action is really cool. It's really fluid. The powers are pretty unique. You have one where you can basically Doctor Strange yourself and turn into like a million versions of yourself, or like a million of yourself, and you all fight at the same time. You can turn into like basically stone, so when the enemy hits you, like the damage is reflected back at them. And
Nice.
yeah, you're again monkey god. You have this pretty cool staff, and I haven't really gotten more into it than that, but
Yeah.
it's yeah. But people are already saying game of the year. Like I'm way too soon. I'm not sold on it
Yeah.
at that point yet. I think the action is pretty fun so far, but I don't have like a skill tree all developed or anything. But the world is freaking cool. We'll see.
Right.
What? No,
I was
no,
able to. Oh, what were you gonna say?
no. I want to know more about the world, but go ahead.
Oh, I was able to watch the beginning. I caught that online, like someone like kind of starting the game, and then I stopped
Oh,
because I was
nice.
like, oh, I might buy this game. I don't want to watch the whole thing. But
Right.
the beginning, very epic. The whole like it felt kind of God of like that's the only thing I can think of. That's why they relate it like God of War ish.
Right. Yeah,
But
a
I
lot
know
of
this
people
story
do
is
make
like a
that
very
comparison.
old story. But it was cool, like seeing him flying in on what I know as Nimbus, which
Yeah,
Goku's
yeah.
based off of.
Mm-hmm,
But you know,
Right,
he has that
definitely
pull,
flying
like a
Nimbus.
lot of cool. It's funny going like it's like Goku, and then realizing Goku's based off this guy.
Yeah.
Like dumb. But
Exactly.
yeah, it's really cool. Like the lore seems really cool. Like if not for just that alone, like I kind of want to pick this game up and like learn more about that as well. It looks really cool. The only thing that like kind of hold me back, kind of a weak reason, but I heard it was kind of hard. Like Demon Souls kind of hard, and like I just don't have the time for like really difficult games anymore. To be honest, I
No
I
strife
can
in that
only
life.
play so many bosses now before I'm like maybe this game's not for me. I can't lose this many times, but you know. Until I hear otherwise from Thomas, I want to like after you play quite a bit, I want to hear like the difficulty and do I have time to play this game? Because I also looked it up. There's no difficulty scaling, which apparently some people are pretty angry about.
Oh,
They're
really?
like, yeah, like there's some people like, dude, I'm just like a dad trying to play for an hour at night, and like I can't. Like,
can't beat
it's
this
just so funny.
boss.
So,
You're
the
just
way they're
fucking getting
written,
dominated.
like I can only,
Hilarious.
they're like 100 times is like I can't fight a boss for 100 times. Like I just know.
Yeah, that was
Like why can't I make it easier?
I can't-
yeah, that was what happened with me with Jedi Fallen Order. That's why
Yeah.
I was literally on the last boss battle. I couldn't beat whatever she was, the third sister or whatever. And
Yeah.
I was like, this game's stupid. Didn't play it, and I was like, okay, Jedi Survivor's coming out. I have to finish this.
Yeah.
Took me 3 tries, finally beat her, and then the game was done. I was like, are you
Fresh
fucking
approach.
kidding me? Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? I was one battle away. So far in this game, it has not been that hard.
Okay.
Like for me, yeah. And I've heard that there's a lot of comparisons to Elden Ring and like a Demon Souls game. I guess I could see the comparisons, but I've never played a Demon Souls game. But just watching it, I can see the comparisons. But it doesn't feel that hard yet.
Okay.
Like you really, yeah. Like spacing is very important in this game, and timing is super important. But as of right now, it hasn't been so much where I'm like, fuck this, I'm over this game. It's just like been just enough challenging, and it's been just enough fun, and like you want to explore it because the environment is beautiful. It's super vibrant. I had to notch it down a little bit though. Like I have whatever like a 4K OLED TV,
Yeah.
but like
Oh, humble
it
brag.
couldn't. No, but it couldn't. Like the performance of it in performance mode, it looks shitty.
Oh, word.
So I brought the performance mode down to mixed, and then to me it looked better.
Oh,
So like
interesting.
that's why it was. Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. It was weird. Maybe someone out there knows. But other than that though, the environment looks sick. It's really cool. And again, this is one of those things where I didn't like. Maybe I don't like voices. Because I didn't like this character's voice either. And I thought maybe I should put it in Chinese and just have the subtitles. But I
Yeah.
don't like the main character's voice, but I don't know how many cutscenes you're going to get with him. But really cool. All the enemies you fight. The staff is really cool too. And the way he uses the staff, he has some really sick combos with it.
Nice.
but not as hard yet. And I was between buying Star Wars Outlaws or this, and I watched a bunch of different reviews. Obviously, I went to Game Ranks. Like Game Ranks to me is like one of the best video game
Yeah.
reviewers
Yeah, me
out
too.
there.
I like them. I like them.
They're good. They're
Right?
pretty
It's
consistent.
so consistent.
Yeah.
But their review of Star Wars Outlaws and like the shortcomings of that seemed worse to me than
kinda
this
mid,
game
yeah.
did. Yeah. And then that game too had it was kind of buggy. This one wasn't, and the way this one was selling, and the way people were talking about Black Myth Wukong, I was like, "Fuck, I gotta jump in there."
Yeah.
Did and yeah. So again, just being an hour into it, I'm very happy with that decision. I can wait kind of for Star Wars Outlaws, especially like if you look at an episode that we had months ago where Drake was talking about the different levels. I think you were talking about like the deluxe edition and all that.
Oh yeah.
Like that never sounded worth it. There was no way I was paying deluxe edition prices for Outlaws. I looked into this one, didn't. It's like, it's cool if you want the little bonuses, but not necessary for this game. So I bought the regular version, and again, feel very happy and satisfied with my purchase. So, yeah, this game it's been pretty dope.
That's what's up, dude. That's
That's
what's
cool,
Yeah.
man. Okay.
So
Can't hate on a
yeah,
happy purchase.
100%. So yeah, I think you guys probably will want to get it at some point. But again, it's still a single player game. I don't think that there's gonna be too much DLC if any. And if this goes on sale like at Christmas time or whatever, I think this is gonna be a fantastic pickup.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's true. And like what might be good is like if you're still interested in that Star Wars game, since it's kind of getting like so reviews, it might go on sale earlier. So if you want
I
to,
think it's on sale right now for like 15 to
What?
20 bucks.
Wait,
Yeah,
dude.
it's on sale.
No
it's
way.
right now.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, go out and get it, guys.
Well, yeah, I think that's it for tonight. Now I think it's a perfect place to end this and wrap this up. It was so nice. Man, we took such a long break. That was not really the plan. But life, and I'm happy we get to come back and do this. And yeah, if you listen to this episode all the way through, thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. It's so awesome that we still get to do this, and yeah, we're gonna keep it going as long as we can. So, with that being said, Scott, any final thoughts, closing statements?
No, just thank you all for sticking it with us.
All right. Well, that doesn't give Drake room to say anything. So.
Oh, I
bye.
thought I was closing it out.
All right.
I think Drake said enough.
The Joystick Show. The Joystick Show.